Hello, my name is Andrew Lloyd, and today I will be talking about the use of ethical appeal as a rhetorical device in both Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven and John Douglas's Obsession. The other members in my group are Tori Gaw, Tanner Nardone, and Kyle Strickland. We'll start off by talking a little bit about Edgar Allan Poe, the author of The Raven. He is a poet who is known for his use of powerful and ominous symbolism to enhance his imagery in his texts such as The Telltale Heart and The Pit and the Pendulum. One of Poe's most famous texts is The Raven. This is a story about a man who is trying to forget his lost lover when suddenly he hears noises outside his chamber door. He opens his window and a bold, black raven flies in and perches on one of his busts. The man starts talking to the raven, who will only reply with one word: nevermore. At first, the man finds the raven funny, but then he starts asking it questions about his lost lover, Lenore. Over the course of the story, the man becomes more manic, calling the bird a devil and telling it to leave his chamber. The strongest symbolism in this story is the raven who flies into the man's room. At first, the raven is almost comical with its lone response of nevermore. The main character begins to start asking the bird questions until he ends up on what he was trying to forget, his lost lover. After becoming outraged at the raven, the man calls it a devil and a thing of evil. In this sense, the man is completely accurate, as a symbol of a raven is always darkness or death. Poe chose the raven for this story for this specific reason. In the story, there is also the main character's lost lover, Lenore. The man is so obsessed with getting answers about her that he questions the raven, who will only reply, nevermore. These questions drive the main character further into his mania and obsession. Jonathan Douglas is a former FBI agent who has spent his career chasing some of the world's worst criminals. Through this job, he became inspired to write books on his experiences. John Douglas is the inventor of physiological profiling, as well as one of the first criminal profilers and criminal physiology authors. One of John Douglas's books is Obsession. This is a nonfiction text on the minds of criminals such as serial killers, stalkers, and rapists. Douglas also uses this text to offer victims advice on how to stick up for themselves against their attackers. We are going to focus on the 9th chapter, which talks about stalkers and their obsessive behavior. Stalking is defined as a set of behaviors we recognize as menacing and dangerous. This aggressive or obsessive behavior is repeated over time, and victims usually don't report it because they fear that either the problem will get worse or that there aren't laws in place to help them. The rhetorical device found in these two texts is ethical appeal. An ethical appeal is a tactic used in arguing in which the author persuades readers to support the argument through the use of ethics, credibility, or authority. This tactic is mainly applied to commercials and advertisements because the audience is large and the celebrities are used to being on camera. Ethical appeal was first theorized by Aristotle under the name ethos, as one of the 3 ways to persuade an audience. One of the keys to using ethos properly is to project an impression onto the reader that you are a person worth listening to. One of the most easily recognizable examples of ethical appeal is in advertisements with celebrities. These celebrities are viewed as powerful and can therefore influence others into, for example, using a specific brand of shampoo. This tactic only works effectively if the authority is strong enough to persuade others. The symbol of power in Poe's story is the raven. By having the main character continually ask the bird questions, Poe establishes that the raven is somehow omnipotent. This symbolism is further enhanced when the man starts thinking about the bird as a prophet and takes its reply as words from a god or devil. In John Douglas's book, he uses his own credibility as an ethical appeal. Many people look up to FBI special agents and view them as authority figures. John Douglas is also credible in his text because he invented, researched, and studied the topics he talks about. The The common theme in these texts is that of dark and ominous obsession. In The Raven, it is shown clearly, with the main character urgently interrogating the bird. His passion and desire for the answers to his questions creates an eerie mood in the story. John Douglas's book also reflects this theme with his cold, hard facts and research. He mainly talks about how intense stalkers can be, and doesn't allow the reader much space to be happy or hopeful about the people surrounding them. This theme is widely shown through most works by Poe and Douglas. The connection between these two texts is in their appeal to authority and dark theme. In The Raven, Poe creates the authority in the bird by addressing it using such words as prophet and devil. John Douglas puts the authority in himself as a respectable FBI agent whose advice should not be taken lightly. The shared theme of darkness and obsession suits these texts in the sense that their topics are dark subjects. Comparisons between the texts are strong not because of their likeness in format, but in content. Conclusion: Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven and John Douglas's Obsession heavily use ethical appeal and dark themes. Both of these texts have strong authority figures who are capable of keeping the reader focused on the topic at hand, whilst advancing the story or argument further.